me that I had to travel to the United States, or my father said, uh, travel to the United States. See? And that's those are minor errors, so don't um, get hung up on this. No, no te quedes como pensando mucho en eso. Don't get hung up. Don't get hung up. Pero bien.
Ok, lo que pasa es que yo, o sea, planifico muchas cosas, pero a la hora de decirlas me trabo y, y no digo las cosas bien.
Yeah, don't overthink too much. No, don't worry. I'm a good example of this. Sometimes I overthink too much while speaking. I ruminate about things, and sometimes it doesn't happen as I was expecting. That yeah, very good, very good. Okay, so let me see who's next. Eh, Joe Verney, Flor, estás aquí, porque pues yo te había dado como esa posibilidad. Pues yo no sé si estás ahí, Joe Verney, no sé, no. Se, she gave up. She gave up. Well, I told her to maybe send a message to Liliana Moreno so that um, she could make up for some grades that she lacks. Anyways, ah, what a pity. Juana, Juana Valentina.
Yes,
Juana,
teacher. Is my turn?
yep.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Let me. Mhm. Can you see the screen?
Um, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So my presentation is about the mental health. And oh my god. Okay. And there are the contents. The first is what is the mental health, what are mental illness, why is mental health important, what can affect my mental health, first warning signs, what shall I do if I think I have a mental health problem, and the conclusions. So to start, first, what is a mental health? Um, Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects the way we think, feel, and act. It also helps to determine how to handle stress, relate to other people, and make decisions. The mental health is important at all stages of the life, from the childhood and the adolescence to the adulthood or the old. I don't know how to say. During your life, if you have mental health problems, your thinking, mood, and behavior may be affected. Many factors contribute to the mental health problems, including the biological factors, such as genes or brain chemistry, that can depend that when you born. You can born with biological factors and problems with the brain chemistry. That is a big problem because it's very difficult sometimes identify the brain chemistry problems. Another can be the life experience, such as traumas or abuse, and the family history of mental health problems that can be um, genetical. What are the mental illness? Well, the mental illness are serious conditions that can affect the way you think, your mood, and your behavior, like I said before. They can be occasional or long lasting. They can affect your ability to get along with others and your function every day. Um, Mental problems are common, more common than we think. More than half of all Americans, in this case, and the Colombians too. Well, in Colombia, is don't I don't know how to say, it's not important at this moment or after of
Espera,
pandemic.
voy a hablar rápidamente en español, qué pena interrumpirte. Si de pronto no lo sabes decir, dilo en español. O sea,
¿Sí?
por mí no hay ningún
Ok.
problema y lo aprendemos todos, créeme.
Ok. Bueno, en
Sí.
Colombia no es tan importante, no era tan importante la salud mental hasta que llegó la pandemia.
Ah, ok, bueno.
Okay, I don't know how to say. Sorry. But after the pandemic, a lot of people will be diagnosed with a mental disorder at some points in their lives. However, there are treatments available, but in Colombia, it's very difficult access to a treatment of mental health. People with mental health disorders can get better and many make a full recovery. Okay, why is mental health important? Well, mental health is important because it can help you coping with the stress of life, be physically unhealthy, have healthy relationships, contribute meaningful to your community, work productively, and reach your full potential. Your mental health is also important because it can affect your physical health. For example, the mental disorders can increase your risk of physical health problems, such as stroke, type 2 of diabetes, and heart disease. Well, what can affect my mental health? Well, in our daily life, we are not conscientized, I don't know, to all the things that we can affect or how we feel and how we act. So, and there are many different factors that can affect your mental health, including the biological factors that we can say before can be of genetical, the life experience, too, the family history, and the most important, your lifestyle, social diet, physical activity, and the substance use and the alcohol use can affect your mental health too. Well, first warning things. If you have, I don't know, people or a person that can present one of 10 first warning things, the person needs physical help. So, the first warning things can be eating and sleeping a lot or little, withdrawing from usual people and activities, having little or no energy at all, being no more feeling like nothing matters anymore, having unexplained pain or discomfort, feeling hopeless or hopeless, smoking, drinking, or using drugs more than usual, feeling unusual, confused, forgetful, nervous, angry, upset, worried, or fearful, yelling or fighting with family and friends, having significant mood swings that cause relationship problems, having persistent thoughts and memories that you can get out of your head, hearing voices or believing things that are not true, thinking about hurting yourself or others, are not being able to daily tasks like taking care of your children or going to work or school. Okay, what should I do if I think I have a mental health problem? Well, if you think you have a mental health problem, the first option is seek help. Another option can be talk therapy and or medication can treat mental disorders. If you don't know where to start, talk to your healthcare professional. Sometimes like we don't know how to do with all the things that we feel. The first thing that we think is that it's not a problem, that is not important. So the first thing that we can have to do is make responsibility about the emotions that we have and seek help. Is hard, but it's the better option. And as conclusion of this, uh, say the way of talking about the mental health has taken shape within this framework. Initially seen as response to the pandemic, physiological distress is now seen by many as a fault plan. Shadow pandemic, a material crisis for neurotransmitters and social crisis of resilience in the face of adversity. The issue of mental health has been mobilized as a matter of medical intervention, as a logistical challenge, as a cultural pandemic, as a new frontier for personal development. As such, the effectiveness of the mental health discourse to capture the sense of current problems and their causes deserve to be analyzed. It refers to both hereditary mental conditions and those of social origin. It encompasses both long-term thought patterns and the acute short-term response. It is dominated by psychiatric as well as psychology, psychoanalysis, social work, and wider the wellness industry, which shows with disparate meanings what does the use of the term today is all. Thank you.
Okay, so any questions so far?
Yes, I have a question. So, Juana, yes?
Yes.
Okay, Juana, I consider that the topic that you choose is really not only important, it's amazing for me because I completely agree about when you start that in Colombia, and it's not only in Colombia, it's in general in the world. So it's not really common that the people care about their their health in general way because people always think that you need to take care your body or your teeth, of course, but about the mental health is completely all. So my question is, if you resolve this topic, are you taking care of your mental health and how?
Okay, it's a good question. Um,
Complicated, very
it's a good
complicated.
question because I'm a person that have a process with the mental health. Sometimes we don't think that the mental health is important, but like I said before in the presentation, the way that maybe you develop with other persons, that your behavior change, that you feel in group and developing your skills normally, like the university, like the work, change is hard for you to develop it, and you have to seek help. In personally, I'm going to therapy. I'm going to therapy each week, and I feel better. I really take the decision of take care about my mental health and that developing a lot of things good in my life, because all have problems, but the problems are different for each one. So it's important for me, and that for that I'm always, I don't know, motives and other persons to take care about the mental health.
Okay. Uh, well, I typed some expressions. I suppose that you were saying, nosotros no somos conscientes. We are not conscientious. Conscientious.
Conscientious. The
This is
word is very difficult to me. Conscientious.
conscientious. Very good. In Colombia, mental health was not a must until the pandemic came in. Hasta que la pandemia llegó, came in. It is a phrasal verb. Um, well, the last word, the last expression, mood swings, cambios de humor, de estado anímico. Eso me gustó, por eso I highlighted. I suppose that maybe during the pandemic, uh, you were going through mood swings all the time, I suppose, no?
Yes, was very difficult, but not during the pandemic. After the pandemic
Yeah.
was all the problem. Not just during the pandemic, was after the pandemic.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why, because I think maybe when I start to develop my activities like like was, como eran, fue difícil para mí volverme a acostumbrar y el sentirme cómoda con muchas cosas.
Oh, okay. It was difficult for you to get acquainted with familiarizar
Mm,
or acostumbrarse or get accustomed to get acquainted with or acquainted. Um, used to get accustomed. Well, honestly, in my critical opinion, with all due respect, I didn't like the slides you were showing us. However, well, it didn't do justice to your English speaking skills. However, once Alexa was asking you something, um, your answer did justice to something I want to hear, because at the beginning of this session or your participation, I wasn't able to um, fully assess some kind of things because you were reading. But yeah, I like the way you were deliver your ideas, which is good. Get accustomed.
okay.
Okay, guys. Yeah.
And why you don't like my present? Okay. And why you don't like my slides?
No, it isn't that I didn't like at all, but you know that I highly recommend you use at least maybe 5 lines. 5 lines.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I extend the lines just in one slide, in this
Yeah,
line of first warning signs.
but maybe it was the slide uh, 9 that, well, there were too many lines, so I strained my eyes to see what the content that was there. Remember, if you put too many lines, people will barely see the content. Rather, if you are looking at a computer, for that reason, I am pointing out this situation. But overall, you did a good performance, Natalie.
Hello.
Well,
Okay. In my personal opinion, I think that at some point we are all tired of everything,
yeah,
from the much work of the house, from the bueno, ya me enredé, so many responsibilities. Yes,
yeah, we're about
it
to finish.
is okay. It is okay to feel tired. It is okay to feel in crazy from time to time.
Yeah.
And this doesn't mean that you are crazy. Eh, my question is, how do you feel your mental health now with so many responsibilities? I, I am tired. Ya estoy cansada, quiero botar todo.
Okay,
Y está bien estar cansados de vez en cuando, ¿no?
yeah, but well, ¿hasta qué punto está bien, no? Es por eso. Por eso son signos de alarma, porque un signo de alarma puede durar de 1 mes a 3 meses. ¿Hasta qué punto está bien estar dormido todo el tiempo o no dormir todo el tiempo? Eso es a lo que se refiere, más que todo. But it's different in each case, no? I'm not a psychologist, so.
Well, interesting. Lena, do you want to say something?
Yes, teacher, yes. What happened is I consider maybe this topic is not too much interesting for people, but it is really important because yes,
Yeah.
after the pandemic, during the pandemic, it was difficult for all people because we were not what to do and for how long it would be last that situation. So it was, in my case, I was just arrived to this city when the pandemic started. So when I came to here, the plan was my family were come to visit me, and yes, we are going to meet in some place. but the time was passing through and passing, and it passed 1 year, and almost 2 years, and some of my relatives that died because of the pandemic, and even my mother was at the hospital for 2 months because of the pandemic, and I couldn't visit her, so it was difficult. But yes, it depends of the person. Every person takes the situations in different ways. I consider that it's important to have a person that really take care of us, that really be interested in our situation, our personal situation, and that can notice if something is happening with us, something different. Yes, if you are sleeping too much, or you are not eating, or you are eating too much, it is important that other people notice that and maybe help us to in that situation. Because when we are alone, we can do anything and no one is going to notice that. So the most important is to be surrounded of persons that really are interested in our what? In our health. That's all.
Wow. Yeah, it was very insightful, very profound, Lena. Thanks for your participation. Um, okay, guys, let's continue with Alexa.
Okay. So, who is sharing the screen? Juana, yes?
Yeah, could you stop sharing your screen? Yeah, thank you.
Yes. Thanks. So I start to share my screen. Dun, this. So can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, right.